New mould, cheap one from Temu. Isn't it lovely? It's quite big as well. Now it's shiny and it feels kind of nice and clingy. So I think my mica powders will stick to it. Now the dilemma I've got here is green frog, green leaf. Not quite sure what to do. I'm going to get my powders out and have a think. Okay, I've made a decision. I'm going to try, might not be the most obvious of colours, but I'm going to try this because I've only just opened it. The Rebel Glitters Opal Flakes set from Just For You online. Let's see what these are like. A couple of them I've used before, but one's new to me, so let's see. This one is the white Opal Flakes. Doesn't say this on the pot, but that's what those are. That's the purple Opal Flakes. I was thinking maybe we could use them for his eyes and his toes or something, I don't know. And this is the one I haven't used before, but that looks like it kind of colour flips around greens and blues. So I thought we could try those, and I don't know what else. I'll kind of, yeah, I'm making it up as I go along again. Right, just getting a brush, and I'm going for quite a chunky little brush, but I'm just going to do his eyes in the purple first of all. So for anybody who's not used Chameleon Flakes before, be aware that sometimes they'll stick to your mould and sometimes they won't. The same goes for powders, mica powders and things like that, but flakes, it seems even more so. So excuse me while I just try to get this blinking lid off. Drive me crazy, these lids do, but they're necessary, I know. But what tends to happen is it goes everywhere when you pull the lid off. So this is the purple Opal Flakes. The colour shift in that, amazing. So we're just going to get a little bit on our brush and pop it into that eye. Now what's happening is it's going all over the place. The static in these is incredible. What I should have done is wipe my mould with a static wipe thingy first, but never mind. You can get little static wipes. Like it's like a little bag of something. Don't quite know how it works, but it gets the static off your mould. I found one the other day and I don't know where to put it. Somewhere in amongst my room clean out. When it shows up, I'll show you. So just going into his little toesies. As you can see, it's going all over the place, but I'm only going in with a little bit of this. I think the leaf I'll do with something else. Let's use all the Opal Flakes on the frog, shall we? I'll show you what I do about cleaning up afterwards. You can obviously use sticky tape. Is good for getting off stuff where you don't want it on moulds, but I find it for most purposes, not all, but for most purposes, just as easy to get a wipe on the go. Most of you know I use Wonder Wipes. They're the things that they're the wipes that tradesmen use for, you know, painters and decorators and people like that tend to use them for clean up. My other half used to use them, and I think he still does. He put me onto them because he's a self-employed kind of handyman sort. I say handyman sort, he's mostly a painter and decorator nowadays. He'll retire sometime soon. I think like me, he's getting to that point. All right. So there we are, just wiping away that I don't want. Now remember, as always, of course, if you haven't used these sort of powders and flakes and things, what you put onto the mould first is what you're going to see. So you don't need to be too precious about what you put in as your last layers. You're building it up from the back, just remember that. If you bear that in mind, then you will be fine. It's really easy. If you want to be more precise and just do quite a lot of detail, then just put a lot less powder on your brush. In fact, probably don't use flakes rather. In fact, probably don't use flakes, go for powders. They're somewhat easier to control. But just put less on your brush and just go in very carefully. Now I'm going to put a bit more of this purple into that eye area because I think that needs, is that, yeah, there's a little bit of his eye there too. Again, I'm going to go back around and wipe out the surplus. Right, there we are. Yeah, so what you can do is use a much finer brush and put very, very little on your brush. I always go for the slap it all in type approach, which isn't terribly terribly accurate, as you can see. I'm not quite so good at doing the fiddly approach, but obviously it depends what you're doing. Sometimes that is what you want to do. There we are. I think I've got into his eye area now. Yeah, the powders are far easier if you're doing finer detail than these flakes are, just because they're finer. Of course, you can mask areas off if you want as well, but just going around with some sticky tape afterwards can get quite a lot off. So whatever takes your fancy. Right, now the frog itself. Let's try these new ones. First of all, I'm going to put some of the, I know this doesn't do what you expect. I expect this to go white. If you put black behind it, it doesn't go white. It goes a fantastic shade of green. So let's first of all do his tummy. Let's have a bit of this around his tummy, and then we'll go in with that new colour. See what I mean? Look, it's got like a green sparkle. I'm basically doing this just to give him a little bit of texture. So let's have a little bit on his legs here too. See how nicely it's sticking to the mould. I'm kind of burnishing it on. My thought is that this gives him a kind of a bit of a highlight. I don't know. We'll see. Depends what this other one goes on like, really. Because this one is the one that's a bit of a mystery to me. Now, I'm going to want to do the whole frog with this now. Yeah, it's basically a darker blue-green flip, isn't it? So I can go in with a liberal, splash it all over with this one, because it won't disturb the colours that are on the other side that we've already put on. So I'm going in for a complete coverage now. So as you can see, I'm using quite a lot. These, yeah, oh, it does gold as well. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to show, because we're going to put black behind this. This white opal flakes that I first put in might not stand out from this. I don't know. We'll see. This is beautiful. I hope they increase this colour range, because I just love them. I've been using a lot of the flakes from the Tiny Turner lately as well. There's some serious colour flipping goes on with those ones as well. Beautiful colour range. There we go. I should be speeding this up, but I find it fascinating watching this stuff work, so I thought you might too. Feel free to fast forward if you're bored though. I don't mind. Oh, let's look at that. So all I'm doing now is making sure I haven't got any bits I've missed, because genuinely this can just go all over now. It's just going to fill in all the gaps. Any bits that I haven't already covered. Now I'm going to just tap this off, which will make a lovely glittery mess, and we'll have a clean up. So first of all, I'm going to clean the mat because it'll go everywhere. I don't know if you can see it floating around in the air. Can I suggest you probably don't need a full-on respirator when you're just doing this mica bit, because that's what it is. It's a type of mica flakes, I believe. I think. I don't know. But can I suggest you do at least wear a dust mask or something, because you don't want to be breathing in stuff that shouldn't be in your lungs, should you now? However, as we are going on to resin next, you've probably already got your respirator on anyway, but in case you haven't, that is my advice. Incidentally, resin safety, if anybody's new to this, on the subject of resin safety, don't just go buying resin and think that'll be okay. You need a well ventilated room. You can probably hear traffic noise here because I've got all my windows open, I've got fans going, pointing outwards, acting as extractor fans. Not as good as proper industrial extractor fans, of course, but it does have a kind of extracting effect. And so that will take quite a lot of the fumes away. However, don't rely on just that. Get yourself a decent respirator. I use the one from 3M. There's a video in my one of my I think it's in my Talkie Bits and Catch-Ups one folder, playlist, whatever you want to call it. But also at the bottom of all of my videos, so it's certainly my more recent ones, you will see a link to the best resin safety video I've ever seen from a proper science guy. It's excellent. So respirator, gloves, goggles is probably wise too. I use goggles because I've had some horrible reactions to some products with my eyes, so it depends what I'm using, but sometimes I will wear the goggles as well to be on the safe side. Some people go for an all-in-one respirator that has the goggles and the respirator all in one. That's a good idea. I bought them separately before I realised I needed the goggles, and because I bought the same brand and checked that they were compatible, they're from 3M. I bought ones that, as I say, as they're compatible, they fit together, so you know you're not getting any bits exposed where fumes can get in. And if anybody wonders how I do my voice recording, because as you know I tend to do it live, I don't very often do a voiceover afterwards. I will very often be wearing my respirator. I just poke one of those lavalier mics inside it and turn the volume down, but that's why you can sometimes hear me breathing and things, and sometimes partway through the video the sound will change a bit. There you go. So while I'm cleaning that up, I have told you some sensible stuff. It's not like me, is it, to be sensible? Anyway, there we go, we've got a frog. Doesn't he? I'm just looking at this on my camera. It looks like he's convex rather than concave, but yeah, trust me, he's concave. Now, the leaf I'm going to do with something else, and I'm not sure what. Let me go and have a look. Okay, I'm back. This is going to be a bit of a green fest, isn't it? But here is the green I'm going to use. This is just a nail art powder, and I get through a lot of this one. You've probably seen it in my other videos. Now, because we're going to do a big area, I'm going to go crazy and do it with a blusher brush. Because you can just go all over. I'm not worrying about doing the veins in a different colour, nothing. It can go all over the back of the actual frog because those colours that I've laid down are already in there. They are not going anywhere. So I can just dust over with this completely. Of course, you can blend these colours. Nothing to stop you putting, you know, maybe a lighter green at the centre or at the edges, doing like a variegated leaf effect with some white maybe. But I thought for this one, I just want to have a look at what the mould looks like. So let's just splash some green all over. How easy and quick was that, look? But I do tend to do this. I'll do a finishing coat where I'll really just go all over everything. Then if I happen to have missed any bits, not a problem. There we go, nail art powder. I'll put you all the links for these as well down in the description below. Just getting another wipe. Let's have a quick clean. Now, black resin is the thing I'd normally put behind this. I have got, though, some polyurethane resin. And if you've never used polyurethane resin before, by golly, it's quick, folks. Now, the only trouble with the black one is you can't see that it's curing. The white one starts clear, and it goes white as it cures, so that's easy. Maybe I do that instead of black. But I find black is far better behind things like this. I wonder if I've got enough black left. Let's see. I'm back with plenty of PPE. Now, use a big cup so I can mix it easily. Just hope I've got enough left here. I think I have. This doesn't look as if it's going to use a huge amount, does it? So let's pour the black in. The brand I'm using is Polycraft. Can't easily get hold of polyurethane resin in every country, I think, at the moment. Let's Resin have got a white one, which I think you can get in most countries. It's really, really good. And I believe they are considering making a black one soon as well. At the point I make this video, they just do the white. I'll keep you posted on that. I'm sure they'll put out some information if they do that. Now, this is a 1-to-1. So, nice and easy for dim people like me, or those who just can't be bothered to count or measure or whatever. Getting the lids off is always the challenge for me. You know, these child-proof lids, turns out they're Tracy-proof as well. There we go. As I said, it is a 1-to-1. Probably should measure it properly. This cup has got lines on it. It's just a cheap plastic cup. I hope that's enough. I really hope that's enough. I'm not convinced. It could be that I do the frog with it and then end up having to do the leaf with the white. Don't know. Back in a moment anyway. I'm going to get this stirring up. Okay, back. Right, you haven't got much work time with this, folks. It's really fast. And unlike the white one, you can't see that it's when it's starting to cure either. So I keep my hand under the pot so I can feel if there's any heat starting to build up. Because once it starts to go, it really starts to go. So there we are. Very quick stir, really. Give somewhere to put my spatula down. There we are. So let's see how far this goes. I think I might end up just doing the frog and then I'll do the rest in white. But then again, it depends if I've got enough to fill the frog, really, doesn't it? Because no, just keep going. It's just going to keep going. It'll go as far as it goes, and then we'll just have to use white for the rest. It's because the frog isn't flat. To get into his toes and everything, I've got to fill it up quite a long way. Okay, so there we are. Now you can't mix the two because there'll be different compositions. So I think what I'm going to do is run this round inside the mould. I'll tip it up just to run it around, and then we'll just have to back it in white, or I could mix up, once this is thoroughly cured, I could just mix up some black ordinary resin. I was really hoping this would be enough. There'd be enough of this left though, because it would be done in 10 minutes. So if I can do it without disturbing the powder, I'm going to push it up the sides. It's starting to thicken already, so this might actually work. This is a bit of an experiment. There you go. I thought we were doing something boring here. Just testing a mould out. But actually, let's see if this works. Will it stay up the sides like this? Trying not to disturb that mica powder. Looks like it's working. If it does, that means I can just back it with white. Really need to order some more black. I'll put you the links for the black where I'm getting it from at the moment, and then, as I said, I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything from Let's Resin about the black being added to their product range. They do a black ordinary epoxy resin, by the way, if you're not keen on mixing blacks up. That's an option for you, but of course you will have to wait for it to cure. There are some very quick curing epoxies out there now as well, which is good news, isn't it? 4-hour cures are not uncommon. There's also a 2-hour cure one out there. It's very thick though. The quicker the resin cures, the more you have to cope with it being thicker, and therefore not so easy to debubble. You have to be very careful with your stirring, because you don't want to be putting it through a debubbling machine either, because that makes it flash cure. But it's awesome stuff once you get the hang of using it. I absolutely love it. The 2-hour one is from Just For You online. by the way. 4-hour ones, there's a few brands that do it. Let's Resin do a 4-hour, I know. Right, okay, I'm going to leave that for, I'm going to give it 20 minutes or so. It should be well and truly cured by then. And then we will back it off with some white or something. I'll think about that. See you shortly. Okay, I'm back, and this has been probably half an hour. Been long enough for me to go and make a cup of tea. It's still hot. I wouldn't want to demould it at this point, but it is cured. And look, where I put it up the sides, it stayed. So I am going to fill this in with white. There's some bits where it's come down. Look, we're going to end up with lighter in the veins of the leaf there, I think. Right, this is the polyurethane resin from Let's Resin. And again, I'm just going to mix up a bit. Tracy proof lid strikes again. That was a bugger to get off. Right, here we go. So same process, except this stuff starts out clear. And part B creates a dusty white mess. I don't know why, it just does. Anyway, and the lids are terrible to get off. So again, we're just going to stir this up, and as you can see, it is clear. So this could be interesting to see what it looks like if you do it half white, half black. It's not ideal. I would have done the whole lot black if I could. Whole lot white would probably have worked with these powders as well, actually, thinking about it, because they're so very opaque. But the opal ones, which are very chameleon effect, I think the lighter ones aren't as opaque, so probably does make sense to do it with black. Right, so again, this stuff cures really, really fast. I chuck it on. Now, because this is going onto a black surface, I'm on my levelling table here, by the way. For anything big and flat like this, that's pretty much vital. Need a little bit more. Yeah, because I'm working onto black here, you'll be able to see that white go really fast. It's kind of fun watching polyurethane cure. I'll put it on time lapse for you, but to be honest, it cures that fast you probably don't even need time lapse. But you do have to work quick. There's no stirring it for 2 or 3 minutes with this stuff. Oh, it's pouring over. Okay, so my levelling table isn't level. Now, bear in mind, I've just moved craft rooms and I thought I'd levelled it. I obviously haven't. However, we know it's full. So I'll clean this up and I will see you shortly. Okay, I'm back and I'm still cleaning up, and you can see how quickly it's going. Look at that. This isn't time lapse. I'm talking to you live. That's amazing, isn't it? And it shows up so well because of the black behind it. So actually, whilst that wasn't quite what I had planned, it is a good demo of how fast this stuff cures. Need to push it a bit out of the way so I can carry on cleaning up. Let me just move the camera back for you. So I could let the spillage just cure and then peel it off. I think what's left I probably will. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now what I normally do, even if it looks as if it's all gone white and it's cured, I do leave it until it's gone cool, because obviously, like any resin type thing, it gets very hot when it's curing, and I think it's not really until it's cooled down that you can say, yeah, that's actually cured. It can be a little bit bendy still. Oh, silicone matte's great. Go on, feel the heat coming off that. That's amazing. Right, I'm back and I'm tidying up, and we are going to have a look and see what this has come out like. I've never tried the black and white on the back of each other like that. And I'm definitely going to have a lip here to trim off. This is cooling. It's still a bit warm, but it's pretty much, it's getting there. It shouldn't be bendy now or anything, so let's go for it. Look how clean my mould is. Everything's come off okay. Should have transferred to the resin beautifully, except around that lip, of course. And yeah, I'm going to have a bit of trimming to do around here, I know, because I went over, didn't I? Anyway, let's have a look. The greens are a bit too similar, is my first reaction. But then that's a green gold. This is a green blue. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in daylight. Let me see, try putting my light onto daylight setting, because it's now evening here, you see. Ah, there's the button. Yeah, very similar. Very, very similar. I was looking for a bit more contrast, but we'll see. I'll take some photos of him in proper daylight tomorrow. There we go then, folks. I can just trim this off with a pair of scissors, because look, it's just like plastic. So I'll trim that away, and I will see you for the next video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Just click some of these things down here. The subscribe and the like, and leave me some comments. What do you think of my new mould? Personally, I love it. I'll see you for the next video.